Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining in. We are really excited and a warm good afternoon to everyone who has joined us today here. My name is Shakti Singh and I work at Hyperscale as a program manager. And I'll be your host for today. And it's an honor to welcome you all to ONDC Presents Build for Bharat. Get insights from Bhashini to solve Indic language support. This initiative is supported by Startup India and sponsored by industry leaders as Google Cloud, Protein, Antler, Paytm, and powered by Hacktoskill altogether. So, to set up the context here, thank you so much, firstly, for joining in today. So, those who are not familiar yet, and that'll be a little surprising for me, but because we have been inviting this to only participants who have been selecting Indic language as their problem statement and want to know more insights and to gain more right solutioning pathways from the team itself. So we have invited you to join us today here. Let me just quickly give you a background about what Build for Bharat is. So it's a collective, endeavor which ONDC has come together to solve a numerous number of digital e-commerce problems, alongside with which is being supported by Google Cloud, Antler, Paytm, and Protein, as I already stated. So this whole initiative is not just about students. It's not just about startup folks or professionals working at large MNCs or anywhere around India itself. So it's a collective, joint, supportive, which is open for all platform. It has two different verticals, two different categories, which is next gen ventures and hackathon piece to it. So it's open for if you're a serial entrepreneur, you can participate, solve problems, pitch your business ideas. You're down for it. If you're a professional, go and hit the right solution for a right problem statement and gain out of the huge prize pool that we have of 3 CR plus. So those are two different verticals, and I will not take much of the time because you guys are already familiar about what this initiative is. So to know more, you can always go ahead and surf on buildforbar.net, and that's where you'll find all the right and appropriate information altogether itself. So to set up the right context here, what are we here for? The primary agenda for today's session is to have insights on Indic language support, problem statement, and if we have time left in the end of the session itself altogether, we'll have more Q&As coming in from you guys onto the chat, and I'll push those across to our esteemed guest speaker of the day, who can take it up from there and maybe help us resolve some of the problems altogether. So, without any further ado, I would just like to invite onto stage, and I would like to introduce you to our esteemed speaker from BHASHINI, a Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology initiative being implemented by Digital India, BHASHINI division under Digital India Corporation. Our panelists will be guiding you all on better understanding of Indic language problem statement. So I would like to call upon Mr. Amitabh Nag. He has an incredible, so if you're there with us, Mr. Amitabh Nag, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm there with you.
Sure, thank you so much. So we have Mr. Amitabh Nag with us. He is currently working as the position of Chief Executive Officer at Bhashini. I welcome you on behalf of the whole team of Build for Bharat and the whole participations who have joined hand together to solve Indic language as a problem statement. So with that, I would just like to hold and throw the spotlight on you, and maybe you can take up the stage and the mic from me, and quickly introduce yourself and get started, maybe from a quick introduction to Bhashini.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's great to be here participating in this particular Build for Bharat hackathon. And we are, working in an area which can actually help for the society to be totally inclusive in all sense in the sense that we can be inclusive to the last mile if we are using the language of the choice of the people who are at the last mile. And this has the potential of increasing the e-commerce setup or e-commerce to the last mile, provided we have the internet. But of late, we had device solutions which were actually available on feature phones. So there is a possibility, provided you think through loud, to take the solutions to the last mile using feature phones also. So let me tell you what Bhashini is doing. Bhashini is focused on 22 languages, which are basically the Indian languages, which have been described in Indian Constitution. The those languages, the 22 languages, we are, have to provide five basic services, which is automatic speech recognition. That means computer should be able to recognize the speech spoken in these 22 languages. We currently do 12 well in that sense. Then we do a text-to-text translation. That means one text to other, one language text to other language, which is what, and that too in a bidirectional mode. We do all 22 today. Then we have text to speech, which is, if the computer has encoded the things on one language, then the computer should be able to speak out in 22 languages. So that is text to speech. And then the other thing which is there is about optical character recognition. That means OCR part of it, which is again visible and available for the people to use. We have created a platform called National Hub for Language Technology, which render this model as API services. We also have added the transliteration services into this particular portfolio. And given this banquet of services which we have, there are imaginations which are flying high with respect to what can be achieved out of it. Because one, you are able to speak in the mother tongue to get the things done, and computer is able to recognize it. So it's actually, while we went across to transcend the language barrier, we are ending up perhaps bridging the digital divide as well as to some extent bridging the literacy divide also, because you can now speak to get the things done rather than knowing what is to be, now rather than digitally typing it or, writing it, etc., to get the things done. The use cases which we have found till now, have been very interesting. And our Honorable Prime Minister himself has used the system at least 5 times now, with direct speech-to-speech translation. And speech is one of the, important aspect which we are looking at. Of course, text-to-text translation remains there. Document translation remains one of the use cases. Video translations are the use cases which are already available. But these are use cases which we are working, and when the voice presents an interesting paradigm, because, as I said, it tends to beat the digital as well as literacy divide. And our effort, if you actually look at it at our website and our own, means we also are running grand challenges which are focused on speech only, and that is what we would, like you to adopt also in the user journeys which you are trying to build up, or the solutioning which you are trying to do, and use text-to-text translation or any other translation as the intermediate step to the speech-to-speech translation. So that's broadly what I would like to put across to you. I'm happy to take questions because that will develop the subject better, because then I would know what are the issues or challenges or the thought processes which you have. So I had seen a few hands going up, so we can start asking questions and we can start answering them, and I'll develop the subject further during that query.
Sure, thank you so much for that quick introduction. Participants, those who have questions regarding Indic languages can raise their hands. We can pick up one after the other. and we'll take it forward from there. So, just before we get started there, just wanted to put this broadly that please stick to this only problem statement, which is Indic languages itself altogether, so that we can, be aligned with the topic and we can all get insights from the same. So, yes, Piyush, you have a question for us.
Sir, I have a question. I have an idea, but I don't have any website or any domain. So in the form, it's asking about the domain of the your site. So I don't have domain. To what to do? I do.
So, that's more on the hackathon participation piece, right? You can write us an email, we can resolve that. That is not a problem. But do you have a certain question regarding the problem statement?
Okay, sir.
Okay, Dipti, do you have a question for us?
Hi, sir. I would like to know if we can get any kind of documentation to implement the APIs for Bhashini in our models.
Yeah, the APIs are available. You have to write a mail to us and we can take it forward from there. The
Okay, sir.
APIs are published. Generally, we are using, there are two forms in which you can use the API. One is, of course, available on our universal library of APIs, which is called ULCA, ULCA. And it is ulka.bhashini.gov.in, where you can go and test the models. Means the APIs are available there also, but it is for testing purposes, because the solution will not scale if you start using the API there in your solution. But if you send us a mail and give the purpose for which you are taking it up, we would, issue you a API key through which you can consume the APIs.
Thank you, sir. So, may I have the email address where I can mail it?
Yeah, you can mail it you can go to our website and get it across. Or otherwise, it is co-dibd@digitalindia.gov.in. And Priya, you can also leave your email ID on the chat window.
Sure, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
Sure. Pranav, do you have a question for us?
Yeah, hi. I have two-part questions. One is, I could not find, the word rate error when it comes to, the translation system. I think that's a common metric while we are transcribing or we are translating. So, is that data publicly available and I haven't found it, or has that not been released yet?
See, the word error rate and the other rates are available at our partners. See, Bhashini was developed in a collaborative way with about 70 research organizations in the country, which includes IITs, IIMs, and triple IITs, etc. Depending upon which model you are using, you will see that the model has the collaborator's name. So it could be triple IIT, Bhashini dash triple IITH dash this thing. So you can go to the triple IITH GitHub site and find all the benchmark results there.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
And the
you.
second part question was its integration with the ONDC website. I think we are having some trouble with integrating that with the ONDC. So can we, put a query or
Yeah, you can
something
put the query and we will try to solve it. See, let me tell you one of the basic impacts, which I say, which is there. Any journey in this environment, which is the AI-based environment, our basic, technology remains artificial intelligence, and any journey in this environment would require is actually a journey. Means you will go through some of the typical challenges which are there in terms of integration, and some of the more typical challenges which are there on translation, which will keep coming. Translation challenges keep coming because of the fact that the models are trained on certain data sets, and it will require other data sets to be trained upon. So that becomes a part of a journey. Also, the penalization of the applications, for guys like you, it is more important what is your idea to integrate Indic languages and what is your user journey than the translation itself, because translation is not so much controlled by you, but your implementation is very, very important, and that is what is there. As far as translation is concerned, we are working with ONDC to incorporate the domain knowledge which retail commerce has, and that would automatically improve the translation in next 2 to 3 months. So I think, uh, to the question of word error rate, etc., although that data is published, we should be more worried about how are we trying to implement it.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer.
Thanks, Pranav, for putting that question really there. Aman, do you have a question for us? Pranav, you can just
Yeah. Thank you, team, and thank you, Amitabh sir, for taking the session. One quick question is like, just wanted to understand the judging criteria and parameter. So, will it be around like the voice that we have to focus on, or the entire user journey, including everything speech and all, or will it be on the quality of the outputs, like the accuracy of the outputs and everything? So, like, how will the judging parameter be for this particular problem statement?
I think the judging parameters in detail can be expressed by ONDC, and that would have been already given. But the idea of me coming on the call and trying to basically explain the things is that there is a possibility of you to reimagine the user journey, and that's important. And there is a possibility of you to use voice as a component of this user journey, which will make the solution even interesting, right? At the end of the day, the evaluation parameters remain the same. But the fact of the matter is that what is available, if you fully utilize it, your solution can have more impactful activity. And as I said, the translation quality remains same for all of you with Bhashini APIs being used. So, of course, the criteria is to see how impactful the solution is. Any challenges in translations, please come back to us. We will be happy to solve it, whatever we can, within the short period of time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
so much. Kinjal, if you can go ahead.
Hello, sir. I have a question. Is it mandatory to use Bhashini APIs, or we can use any global API for the same purpose?
See, it is entirely dependent upon you to basically how do you work upon, but it is, since it is built for Bharat, thing, you should use, build in Bharat APIs. The other part of the thing is that, as I said, that, if there are challenges with respect to models and translation, we are already working in the direction to actually improve it. You may not, find such a customized and customer responsive approach for any other model, but you are free to use and experience yourself and benchmark and then try to propose a particular model for this particular purpose. But, be aware of the pros and cons which comes in.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else has any other question regarding Indic languages?
So, any other question, please? So, just to, last few words, if you permit, from teams from Act to Skill. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, see, the point of this build for Bharat, contest is to ensure that every corner of Bharat is covered. And every corner of Bharat would be covered if we cover the 22 languages which are there. And please have that in mind that you need to cover 22 languages, at least in the text format. In the voice format, at least cover 12 languages and integrate the APIs there. If you are using OCR in your solution, at least cover 14 languages which are there. So those are the minimum criteria which you should follow when you're trying to build this, because we are looking at the solution going to the hinterlands of the country and not limited to the metros which are there. And the SMEs and MSMEs and the, even the tribal arts which are there need to come to this platform in their own language. So that's extremely important evaluation criteria for the Build for Bharat context.
For that quick insight.
Yeah, and then I'm good. Any other question? I'm happy to.
Do we have any more questions for Mr. Amitabh here? So I have a question for you. If people are not asking, so if you can just help us set the right, what would be a right solution approach to solve, Indic language as a problem statement for a hackathon?
See, I would like to, I would like to keep the problem statement very generic, and then, look at the solution, people to come in. See, our 70 to 80% of the people still do not know English. So that's one point which we need to take care of. Correct? And out of that, a significant portion do not know, are on the other side of digital divide. So that is the second challenge which we have. And out of that, those people who live on the other side of digital divide, there is another significant portion who does not know need to read and write. Right? But they have the skills to actually contribute to the commerce of the country. Right? And are also kind of entrepreneurs, either in a group or a self-help thing or anyways. And the primary reason why we are running this initiatives all across the country, even BHASHINI or ONDC or anyone, we are trying to ensure that we are able to reach to the last mile. And that is one of the important criteria for looking at a solution base. And that's when I started off by talking that look at opportunities of using voice, look at opportunities of reimagining the user journey, look at opportunities where you can, make the difference with respect to machine working with, least of interferences or least of nudges from the people. So those are the kind of solutions which will actually, increase the traction on the ONDC platform from the hinterlands which we are actually targeting. Right? So if with English, we are reaching to 20% of the people, with the Indic language component, we should be able to reach 80% of the people. And that's the 80% or 90% of the people. That's the driving factor when you're looking at any solution designed for this particular. Yeah, Aman, you had raised the hand. Anyone else? You can.
Aman,
one quick question. Thank you. Like when we are displaying the solution, would you suggest that we build a separate like a demo website where we are demoing the entire solution and the entire user journey, or like what would be the preference?
I'm not sure what the team has in mind with respect to your solution depiction, but I think I don't have a comment on that. Means Hack2 Skill team can guide better whether they would need a website or they would need the app itself.
Anything here works fine, Aman. So until and unless you're solving a problem through a website or a web app or through an application, regardless of these solutions, you'll find out, the problem statement should be solved altogether through your innovative solution. So it can be through any channels.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else has any question for us? Okay, if not, then we are good at a good position. Thank you so much, sir. So we
Thank you.
are almost on time. And thank you so much.